Asianet News brings you Youth Express, a program that tells you what the young are thinking in Kerala and outside. Is being young being innovative? Are the young more innovative than the older generation? Are schools and colleges encouraging innovation or discouraging it? Most of all, is the Facebook and the internet discouraging innovation because young people spend so much time on the internet, or is it encouraging innovation? To discuss this on whether being young and innovative is something that Kerala and the world is seeing, we have three young panelists with us today. We have Ansif Ashraf. Ansif, what is it that you have discovered? I believe it's a fabric.
Yeah.
What sort of a fabric is it?
We have developed a electromagnetic radiation shielding fabric, which can be used to control the triggering of explosive devices using a mobile phone.
So there'll be no more terrorist bomb attacks anymore?
It can happen, but it helps you to prevent it.
Right. I'll come back to you with details later. Our second young panelist is a very young 20-year-old Vishakha. Vishakha is actually from Gujarat, but she's been in Kerala for many years, all her 20 years. So you think Gujaratis are more innovative than us Malayalis?
Well, if you consider the business field, I do agree Gujaratis are more innovative in the business field, but Keralites are no less. Innovation is on the whole a very broad area, so Keralites are innovative in their own way. Probably, I think more innovation here is with agriculture and fields like that.
And third, our third panelist, young panelist on this show is Varadarajan. Varadan, you have been innovating for a very long time. You've been in the media, you've been in tourism, you've been in the software industry, and you've also been in cartoon animation. All these are fields which have a lot of innovation possibilities. Yes. What would you say was your greatest innovation so far?
Well, in the year about 2002, I think, when I was in London for World Travel Mart, I actually suggested to set up a kiosk, travel kiosk regarding Kerala, you know, across maybe in some of the major airports, or even in our domestic airports, where you can actually, you know, when you get tourists who comes in, or even people who comes in to get more information regarding our Kerala state and whatever we have to offer. Well, it's slowly happening right now.
Congratulations on that. And as usual, we have a celebrity guest. And today's celebrity guest is a very young person, a young innovator, Shaffi Mehtar. Shaffi, I tried to mug up all your qualifications and try to say it by heart before I came this morning, but I couldn't. So I've got this note in front of me. I'm going to read it out. You have a master's degree in public administration from Harvard University. You were selected as the Global Young Leader by the World Economic Forum in 2010. You won the Godfrey Philip Bravery Award. India Today selected you as one of the most promising young person in 2011. And then Barack Obama invited you to a meeting on social entrepreneurship in Washington, D.C. in 2009. And most of all, at this young age, you are a visiting professor of, at the London School of Economics. That's a lot, isn't it?
These are small steps towards making an impact and change in the society.
You have innovated something that is saving a lot of lives. The ambulance service 1298 was something that you innovated. What led you to it?
The ambulance service idea came out of a few personal experiences. So it was just keeping the eyes and ears and the mind open when I and a few friends experienced near-death experiences within the close circle. My mom had choked in her sleep. We had to rush her to the hospital. She was in ICU. She survived. And a week later, my best friend's mom collapsed in Manhattan, where an ambulance responded in 4.5 minutes. These two incidents put together showed the significance of an emergency ambulance service network.
Was it very difficult for you to sell this innovation? It's very good to have an idea, but how easy is it to sell it and get it practicalized?
It was very difficult because ambulance in India actually 10, 15 years back meant for transporting dead bodies. You don't have to do any research. Just look back in your life and see how many times you have seen an ambulance in action. It would be to bring a body back. Nobody used it to go to the hospital. So that required an impactful change. So when we started with our first ambulance in Mumbai, we took a decision that we will not transport a body even though it brings in revenue or fees. So that was the first decision that we took when we started this service.
Ansif's history with innovation has not been so rosy, I believe. What are the challenges for young people who discover something to get the idea sold and commercialize it?
It's like we don't have a platform in India, basically, for showcasing our product, and the government helping us to develop it from the R&D to the product is once out. So that's a major challenge, and if you are specifically going to supply to a particular industry, like my fabric was specifically for the Army, Navy and the defense related, those were the markets. So to enter that market, it was a bit difficult, and they demanded us several certifications, and even going for taking such certification, it will cost much more.
So there's a problem with money, and there's a problem with the government support.
Yeah, government support.
Shaffi, I'm going to come to you on that. You're economic advisor to the CM. What sort of support can the Kerala government, for example, give to young innovators?
He has a huge challenge because the market he's trying to address is particularly a very sensitive market, being the defense industry. We are starting to put in place policies which encourage tech innovations from amongst the youth. Government can only provide an environment for innovation. Government cannot spoon feed or handhold an innovator all the way to market.
He calls it a platform.
Provide an ecosystem. An ecosystem is very, very important to provide the youth an environment to innovate and convert that innovation into successful enterprises. So we now have the tech incubators in Technopark, the Startup Village, the NRI incubator in Infopark. We have the first student entrepreneurship policy in the whole world.
You have innovated something, isn't it? You are onto something with... what is it that?
My company, I have a company of my own. We name it Scrappin.
A company
and
at 20.
We are incubating at Startup Village. There we have a product in mind. So we're still working on it. It's all about, the product is all about us. So
Us means?
If I'm using the product, it's all about me. The product knows everything about me.
Is your generation, is this young generation more innovative than the previous generation?
No, both the generations were equally innovative.
Ambani and Amul, and also perhaps Tatas, they're all from Gujarat. What's in the air in Gujarat that makes you so innovative?
I think it's business in their blood.
Business in their blood. Gandhiji was also a Gujarati, and he was the greatest political innovator. She says Gujaratis are more innovative than us.
Maybe they're having a better chance. You know, the government or the people there, or even the mindset of the people is totally different. That is why they are more innovative.
What is the difference between a Malayali mindset and a Gujarati mindset?
Well, they are more open. Gujaratis are more open to new ideas.
We Keralites, Malayalis, have been innovative over the last 30, 40 years in two specific areas. One, we have found innovative way to demand our rights and increase our sense of entitlement.
Yes.
The other innovation, which Malayalis decided that they have to innovate to find their career outside the boundaries of Kerala. Absolutely. Which also is one reason why we have the current standard of life in Kerala.
Tremendous. You think girls are more innovative? Is there a gender bias?
No, I don't think there's a gender bias. Women, the problem with women, what I feel is they have the family life. That is what they don't get recognized so easily.
Men don't have families.
Men do have, but men do have more freedom.
Okay. Women's freedom is restricted
I don't say it's restricted. I don't say it's restricted, but they are bound to be, in the culture, like culture-wise, they're bound to be with the society, family.
Does your mother prevent you from innovation? Does she say, don't innovate, come to the kitchen, cook?
No. She tells me you have to do both.
Would you agree with what?
No, I don't agree.
I can see you
100% that women are more innovative. There are many reasons. We can see from the past, like most of the founders of big enterprises are all men, and later women might take over on a second or third stage. But basically, if you go on the innovation side, like you take Rolls-Royce, GE, Siemens, Philips, whichever, when you go for the international way, we can see most of the innovation team, they have the majority men. We had a discussion before with a team from Rolls-Royce. A person there, he gave a good presentation. Like he said, men are the sun of the family, and the woman is the moon, and the children are the stars.
Okay.
So the moon shines with the light of sun. Okay, and when the moon does the job of sun, and when sun does the job of moon, you can't see the stars.
In the case of innovation, do you think women should only shine when there are men in the team?
Not necessarily. Women can stand alone and shine. Okay. That's what I believe.
Some of the best innovators are women where it comes to fashion.
Well, I don't think it's just restricted to fashion alone. If you see the new automobile, the SUV from Volvo, XC90, it's totally designed by women. And it's the safest SUV in the world today. And so I cannot say, or I cannot accept that women are actually restricted. Maybe in India, people are taking a back seat due to, as she said, maybe the cultural values or the family life or anything. But slowly they are coming out. They know they can do things much better. They have a longer time at home to think about what they can do than men who are actually running after things. And
I'll move to a slightly different area of the same topic. Education. You think education is changing now? You think there's innovation? And you think we could help young people to innovate more in their colleges and universities? And if so, how?
See, because of legacy reasons, it's difficult to change education radically in a short span of time. But let me go back to the student entrepreneurship policy announced by the government of Kerala. The policy says 20% of attendance is provided to the student for an enterprise which he involves in through an incubator. That's like the government policy is encouraging them to get out of the class, stay out of the classroom, go do something different. So that is a huge step towards changing the mindset of not only the students, but also parents and the larger society towards innovation.
Say about my college, FISAT, we have a particular cell who does all kind of innovation. We call it Center of High Performance Computing. So any person who have a technical innovative idea, go there and implement the idea. And that's what turned out to be an innovation.
See, when you take the matter of engineering college, like FISAT, CUSAT, or any engineering college, they have a facility where you can put your ideas to the head of the department and you can start working on it. But on regular colleges, they don't have such things. So when we were doing our studies in Cochin College, we never had any innovation cell or something. But soon after we were working on this fabric case, the principal, who was our physics head that time, he came forward with his experiences and advices in developing this fabric. And he also put up an idea of making a R&D division in Cochin College. And the proposal has been given to the management.
Is it on? Is it happening?
It's not happened, but it's on the process. I don't know whether they need some permissions or support from the government or the university.
College level, the policy is already in place in Kerala. We are trying to, we are in discussions internally in the government about extending this to high school students. So possibly the government should be able to come out with some policy soon on that.
Is Facebook preventing innovation among the young?
It differs from people to people, like how they use Facebook. Now for me, I use Facebook to share my ideas, my viewpoints. Yes, I have the social networking also happening, But apart from that, when I share my ideas and things, I get a response back. And that adds on input to my ideas. And there'll be people who criticize my ideas also. So I can use Facebook in the way I want. So it depends on perspective.
I don't agree. Because you are sharing your innovations or the ideas with the people who might guide you on a wrong way. The way I am thinking to implement an idea, okay, I might be confident with that, but the person who is commenting on that might demotivate you because he doesn't know the subject.
I mean, you agree or you don't agree?
No, I do agree with him. I don't agree that Facebook is actually promoting innovation, you know, because most of the time you spend chatting to your friends and maybe you just put an idea across, that's all. You're not going to discuss in detail. You're going to discuss in detail only with people who know about the subject. So it's better to spend time more with those kind of people than have a chat in the Facebook and find out that you have reached nowhere.
If you were to ask Shaffi, as the advisor to the CM, to change regarding policy so that young people are encouraged to innovate, what would you say? What would you ask him?
I would say the education system. Probably because what I'm studying in my college is basically theory. Yes, I agree, we need theory before we do with the practicals. But if the way teaching methods, if that could be changed, it would be better. I think more skilled and more innovative people would come out.
It is something that the government is conscious of, but as I said earlier, it's difficult to bring in radical changes in education policy and content overnight, or within a short span of time.
Do you think we are less innovative than the Europeans or the Anglo-Saxons? If so, what is the reason? And how can we break this?
I think Kerala society has changed, is changing, and will change even faster with the new generation taking charge of their own destiny.
Thank you, Shaffi. I think that's a wonderful note to end this discussion on being young and innovative. Thank you very much, Shaffi and the young panelists, for being on the show. And if you out there like the show, please write to us. Write to us even if you did not. And if you would like any of the topics that you would like discussed to be taken up on the show, please write to us. If you want to be a young panelist on the show, do write to us. But most of all, don't forget to watch the next episode of Asianet News Youth Express. Same time, same day, next week. Until then, this is your host, MP Joseph, signing off. Goodbye, ciao.